Megan. It's Sunday morning and I am going to do my get ready with me using the products that I showed you guys in my Target haul last weekend. So I have been using these pretty much all week, so I have mini reviews on all of them to share with you guys, which I hope will be really helpful because I definitely have opinions on all of these products already. So I am going to start with my eyes as I normally do. I have like stuff all over, so I'm like overwhelmed feeling. But this morning, me and Michael's Q&A went live and we have had such an overwhelming response, so positive and so sweet, and I just really appreciate you guys watching and just being so kind, because I of course I'm always nervous to show people in my personal life on the internet, and it can be like I am definitely more nervous showing people I love than showing myself, because I'm like choosing to do this and I've gotten used to people being mean, but it's a different thing to share someone that you love with whoever is watching out there, because you don't even know who will watch it or what they will say. So just thank you guys so much. I am seriously overwhelmed and just really appreciate it. And we had so much fun filming that, and I kept realizing that there was questions that I definitely got that we didn't read. Like one of my questions, which I know was on my videos, was about my frames in the background. And those are my life lessons. I really wish that I would have answered that question. I don't know like how I missed that question in the Q&A, but those picture frames are life lessons that I wrote for myself. Gosh, that was probably four or 5 years ago. And it was just something that I really wanted to do for myself. I was just out of therapy at that time after a really strange breakup, car accident, all sorts of like crazy shit that happened, and I was definitely becoming a more reflective person, and I'm so glad that I did that, because I look at those life lessons a lot, and everything that is up there is still applicable to this day, and I know will be very helpful for me in the future as well, to just understand that things are not permanent. Whatever situation you're in right now isn't the end of the world, and that was something really important for me to learn. So those are my life lessons, and there's definitely way more stuff that I've learned since then, but yeah, that's what those are. So, so I prime my eyelids with my Smashbox eye primer, which I really love. Then I always have to set my primer, and I've been using the Physicians Formula Bronze Booster Little Trio. This is the matte trio. There's also a shimmery one, which wasn't anything that I was really interested in. So these powders are really nice. They're not super powdery, which is great, and they work well as eyeshadows and face powders. I've only used this lightest one as eyeshadow, and I've only used the contour one on my face. I haven't been in the mood to bronze, so I can't really report on how the bronze one is, but I will show you guys the contour one on my eyes and on my face, because it's a really great powder. So I just have to do that because my eyelids just never want to have eyeshadow adhere to them. Then I am going to take the contour shade in this just to get some definition in my crease. Usually I would do this after I do cream shadow, but the cream shadow that we're going to use, the Color Tattoo Lavish Lavender, I have noticed when you blend it, it can sometimes tend to like blend away. So I realized that doing the crease shade first just makes the Color Tattoo more vibrant on its own. And this This color is just really, really nice, and it's perfect for my skin tone, which, oh my god, I just stabbed myself in the eye. I'm extremely pale, so I don't know how this would work on like medium or tan skin tones, but for me, it's an absolutely wonderful color. I do wish that it had a mirror here. It has a mirror like within this part, but I don't like, I wish the mirror was where the powders are, because I don't want to like get the powder and then have to flip it. That's just, I don't know if that's a me issue or if other people feel the same way. I love being able to see the colors, but I also would love to have a mirror, so it's a double-edged sword. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to use the Color Tattoo in Lavish Lavender, which I love the crayon style of this. It makes it so easy to apply. And those powders that I just used are definitely matte. Like, there's no sheen to them whatsoever. So if you are someone that really, really loves like matte, 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 those powders would be great, even if you are just going to use them as eyeshadows. And what I like about this is that this container is plastic, and you can twist this up or down instead of having to sharpen it, because I really prefer if you can just twist it up and twist it down instead of having to sharpen it every time, because like, especially if you're taking this while you're traveling, because this would be a really great like travel eyeshadow because it's so compact and easy. You wouldn't want to have to worry about carrying a sharpener. So I do like the color. I would say that I don't love the color. It's definitely different than the original Lavish Lavender from years and years and years ago that was in a pot. That was a limited edition, so I was really happy when they came out with this color in the permanent line for the crayons. But I do feel like the original one was more icy lavender, and this is almost like kind of grayish bluish, which is still pretty, but it's not like the exact same color that I remember. But it has a really nice sheen to it, and I have been double layering it. And this lasts pretty well on my eyes. I have to prime and set and all that stuff. It doesn't like last on its own, but it's pretty good. I wouldn't like run out and get all of the like Color Tattoo eye crayons just because I don't think that they're like exceptional, but they are really like nice. And today I am going to put eyeshadow on top of it. I am in the mood to do that. I haven't really done that. I don't think I've done that so far since using this. But I'm going to do one of my favorite combos, which is MAC Naked Lunch and MAC Satin Taupe. And I'm just going to put Naked Lunch on like the lid, like the inner corner and lid. And then Satin Taupe in the crease more so. And I used to always layer Satin Taupe over Lavish Lavender because they just complement each other super nicely. And I love Naked Lunch. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of Satin Taupe and put it on this part of my eye. And today is Oscar Sunday. I follow movies all year round, but I especially get excited about movies leading up to the Oscars and like pretty much all of the award shows. But I never watch award shows. Like, as much as I'm obsessed with like watching as many of the nominated movies and stuff, and I'm obsessed with knowing who won, I really dislike watching award shows. Like, I just find it so boring. It's so drawn out. And I just look up who won the next day because I just can't get invested in it and spend like hours of my life when they don't announce like the awards I really care about until like midnight. So I really hope that Moonlight wins. Me and Michael watched all of the nominated movies except for Lion, Hidden Figures, and Hell or High Water. So I feel like we watched a majority of the Best Picture nominations, and we both really hope that Moonlight wins. That was the only movie that made me, like, that brought me to tears. I cried so many times throughout that movie, and as moving and as deep of, like, storylines that Arrival had. I freaking love that movie. I'm obsessed with that movie. And Manchester by the Sea and Hacksaw Ridge and even Fences, they were all really, really intense storylines, but I didn't cry from watching them. And I don't know if that's like just something about me or what, but I really, really was moved by Moonlight, and I was just so impressed with that movie. So I really hope that wins, but we will see. And of course I love La La Land. I saw La La Land and Arrival like 3 times each, so obviously I love them. But I think that Moonlight is the strongest movie, if I were to think about it in that way. Alright, so that is the eyeshadow. Now I'm going to move on to my face. So first I'm just going to conceal under my eyes, and I don't have new products for that. I still use the Giorgio Armani Master Corrector in number 1 and the NYX HD Concealer, which I do like the NYX HD Concealer, but I don't absolutely love it. So I asked for recommendations for concealer in my Get Ready With Me for Work video, and I think I got a few suggestions, but if you guys have any suggestions for a good under eye concealer, please let me know. I'm so tempted to purchase the YSL Touche Cloud because I've used so many samples of that concealer and I absolutely love it. But it's so stupidly expensive. It's like $40. So I don't really want to buy it, but I might buy it because it is the concealer that I have the best like memories about, and it gave me the look that I want, which is just a very natural under eye. Like, I like to have very natural makeup, which takes me to this foundation, and I am obsessed with this foundation. This is the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Tint with Hyaluronic Acid. It says it moisturizes and plumps skin for 24 hours. So I have the lightest shade, which is 10 Classic Ivory, which was the closest match to my yellow to neutral undertone skin. The number 20, which was called Natural Ivory, was very pink compared to this. And I honestly am tempted to purchase that now that I have tried this foundation out for this whole week, because it's definitely just a tinge too dark for my skin. So I have been mixing a little bit of my white Illamasqua Skin Base foundation with it because it's too deep on its own, especially when I'm in natural lighting, you can really tell. So, a few things about this foundation. You will not like this, I don't think, if you want like super full coverage foundation, but you will love this if you're like me and you want natural coverage, a natural finish, your skin to breathe through your makeup, to kind of peek through here and there, but really look great, even over like dry patches. Like, I've been having some issues around my mouth area, and I am just so impressed with how well this lays over my skin, and it really just looks like skin when you apply it. So the best way that I have discovered to put it on my face, it has this like spongy, kind of like a ginormous lip gloss applicator, is to put it directly on my face and then blend it with a buffing brush. So I think that this is not the most sanitary thing to do. However, I don't have too many like blemish problems on my cheeks, so I try to only apply it directly on my face where I don't really have skin issues, because I do think that this could be contaminated like really easily if you put it over like problematic skin areas. So I really just wish that this had a pump. And if you guys have any tips on, or know, if you can like buy a pump that would fit into here that I could just use like that instead of having this stupid spatula, I would much prefer that, because it just like creeps me out to do this on an everyday basis. So then I've been using my Real Techniques buffing brush and just taking the smallest amount of this white foundation, just like a little drop, because I do need for this to be lighter, but I don't want it to be like white. So then I just buff it into my skin as normal. And I did try this with a beauty blender, but to me it sheared it out too much, which this foundation doesn't really need that because it's not too full coverage. I prefer to use the beauty blender with foundations that are maybe too heavy on my skin or look like foundation, and I don't want them to look like foundation. Using a damp beauty blender just really helps blend out heavier foundations. But in my experience with this Hydro Boost foundation, it really doesn't need to be sheared out to get the look and the coverage and the finish that I want. And like I said, it's very natural, and that leads itself to being glowier. So if you don't want a like glowy finish, you probably would want to steer clear from this, because I do set this in my T-zone like I'll show you, but it still looks glowy. Like, I don't think you could ever have this foundation look matte, which is exactly what I am looking for. I love this foundation. I think that it is so beautiful, and oh my gosh, it's like pretty much everything that I've ever wanted in a foundation, and I love that it's Neutrogena. I really trust Neutrogena with like skin products, and I am just super impressed. Something I have been doing is taking just a little bit more of it and putting it under my eyes to add a little more coverage there. And I don't know, I just like how it looks under my eyes. And then I've just been using my Beauty Blender blusher that's not wet and just pat it out. And I don't know if it really like changes anything, but I do like how it looks. So then I'm going to take my MAC Prep and Prime Transparent Finishing Powder. So whatever like setting powder that you like to use. I have never been a person that really religiously set their face, but I do notice that it looks better, this foundation looks better throughout the day if it is slightly set in the T-zone. But I let the rest of my face just as it is. And I do like this finishing powder. This is going to take me like forever to get through, so it works for me. Then I'm going to do my brows, because every time after I do my foundation, I feel like my brows look so grayish and I can't stand looking at myself. So I would love to hear you guys' favorite brow products from the drugstore. I'm really getting into like drugstore makeup because I kind of steered clear from the drugstore for like several years after I was really obsessed with buying stuff at the drugstore. Like, I would just go to the drugstore when I didn't need anything and I would just buy tons of shit, like kind of like what I did this time. But I actually use all the stuff that I bought, which I didn't used to think about. I used to just buy whatever was on sale. and not think about like, oh, you already have like 10 similar products. But I find it hard to find red toned eyebrow products in the drugstore. The only one that I've ever found is, well, I haven't looked that hard, so don't really take my word on this, but the only one that I've ever used is the NYX Micro Brow in Auburn. I really love that, but if there's any other ones that you guys suggest, please let me know, because things like eyebrows, mascara, eyeliner, even foundation, I would prefer to purchase at the drugstore because it's just so easily accessible, and I'm trying to save money where I can on pretty much everything in my life. So those are my eyebrows. Then liner. I really, really love this. This is the L'Oreal Voluminous Liner Noir, and I really like the packaging. I think that it's really chic looking. I don't love the cap though, because it has these little notches on the sides because it's like a triangle shape, and so you have to get it just right in here or else it won't close. So that is something that kind of has been a little bit of an annoyance to me. But what I love about this is the shape of the brush, and it is a felt tip. So there is a worry in my mind that the felt tip will start to break down as opposed to a brush tip, which I feel like holds up better. But I love this because you can get really, really fine and then just drag it across to like fill in the line. It's just a really nice like shape for an eyeliner, and I've just been doing like my standard line, a little bit thicker on the outside and very thin on the inside. And I have done slight cat eyes with it. I did a wing yesterday, but I haven't done anything like too crazy to really like test out if this is easy to do like a extreme liner look, because I just don't really do that kind of eyeliner. But for my everyday, it's so easy, and it's really black, which is what I'm looking for in an eyeliner. I'm looking for black, matte, and like just fluidity is what I'm the most concerned about. So I definitely would suggest this eyeliner if you like pen style liners. Pen style liners are the only ones I like. So to me, this is definitely a winner. Now moving on to mascara. So this is such a hyped up product right now, the Maybelline Colossal Big Shot Mascara, and I don't typically buy Maybelline mascaras. I pretty much only buy L'Oreal Voluminous or like different high-end mascaras. So this is the wand, and I like this mascara, but it transfers. And I don't have a lot of space between my lashes and my brow. So when I'm like looking down, like when I'm working at work and like doing like paperwork and stuff, and I'm looking down a lot, my lashes touch like the skin right above or right below my brow. So I can tell with mascaras if they transfer or not because I'll get little dots like right along the edge of my brow. And I have noticed this every single day this week that I've worn this mascara. And that's not a total like killer for me. Like that wouldn't make me hate this mascara, but I do think that I need to work a lot harder to get my lashes placed and combed out in the way that I like when I use this mascara. It gets clumpy really fast, and I like clumpy mascara, so that is something that I've been kind of struggling with this mascara, is that it in theory is a mascara that I would really like, but it can just be finicky. So I would say if you like mascara that I like, voluminous, What else do I like? I don't know. Just like volumizing mascaras. You might give this a shot if you want to try out something new, but I don't think that I would repurchase it, which I think is like the biggest telltale sign of if you like something, you would most likely repurchase it, and I don't see myself repurchasing this product. Okay, so speaking of the Oscars, Michael and I watched Manchester by the Sea last night, and are we the only freaking weirdos that thought that that movie was hilarious? Like, the topic of it is obviously not funny. Like, it's a very serious topic, but it's a funny movie. Like, there were so many parts where we were cracking up, and I don't know if it's our humor or if we're like freaking twisted or something, but we looked up this morning, like I googled Manchester by the Sea, like funny, and Casey Affleck says that the movie is like supposed to be funny, like obviously serious, but also has a lot of funny parts. And I had not heard a single soul mention anything about that movie being funny at all or having funny moments, because serious movies can have funny parts, and that's how I felt this was. Like, it was very tragic, like just in general, but it had a lot of realistic humor in it, and just kind of like you have to laugh at situations even though they're like impossibly hard to deal with. And I don't know, I just have to ask you guys if any of you thought that it was like kind of a funny movie at parts, or if we are like sick and I don't know what. But I really like Bostonian humor. I just really think that that kind of stuff is funny, so that might have something to do with it as well. But we were so surprised with how funny we thought the movie was, because we were like, we have not heard anyone mention that this was funny or had funny parts. So I don't know if we're the weird ones or if everyone else is the weird ones, because we thought it was actually like pretty funny at a lot of parts. Okay, so that's the mascara. It gives me a good look in the end, but it's not like, whoa, this is the best mascara I've ever tried. But I do think that it'll get better as it dries out. I've only had it open for a week, so. Now moving on to the cheeks. So I am going to use the Bronze Booster palette again, and I'm going to use the contouring shade, which is the middle shade. And I really love my Chanel blush brush for contouring. So I'm just going to take a little bit on the tip of the brush and go in the hollows of my cheeks. And I don't typically like contour on an everyday basis, but I like the look sometimes. So I do like having a product that I can use when I feel like getting a little bit of extra definition to my face. And I only really use contour powders around the perimeter of my face and definitely my cheekbones. But the color is just really nice on my skin tone, and it looks very natural. It looks like a shadow, which is what you want contour to look like. And I think that it's just really pretty, blends really easily, and it's like a no-brainer type of product. Like, you don't have to be worried about it being too pigmented, because that's what happens for me a lot of the times, because I have very fair skin, is that these powders are so pigmented, which works for like a lot of skin tones, but for me it can look like so obvious and so distinct of a line, and I don't want that. I want to look like natural as makeup can look. I've been on a MAC Lightscapade kick again, so I'm going to use this as my highlighter, and it's a great highlighter for fair skin. It just gives you that little bit of a sheen that's just really, really pretty. and I think complements the foundation really nicely. And then for blush, I've been using NARS Deep Throat this week. I really have fallen back in love with this blush. Part of it is due to this amazing weather we've been having. Today it's back down to the 30s. It's been in the 70s like all week, and now it's the 30s. So I don't really want to go outside, but gotta do what you gotta do. So you gotta brighten up these gloomy days with some really pretty blush. And then those are all the products that I showed you guys in my haul. I am going to try out the Neutrogena Healthy Skin Liquid Makeup this week. So I was testing out the Hydro Boost this previous week, and now I'm going to move on to testing this out, and I'm super excited. But I wanted to show you guys this lipstick. I've had it forever, but I kind of forget about it all the time. It's the Rimmel Moisture Renew, which is my favorite line of lipsticks at the drugstore for very like comfortable wear. And this is called Nude and the City number 730. And it is just, it's just like that perfect color that is very, I feel like this is a very sophisticated color, but very like pretty as well. I don't know, like it doesn't clash with, like, even though the eyes are kind of like purpley tone, like a little bit, it doesn't look like purple makeup. But I just really love how these lipsticks look. So this is the final look, and those were my feelings on the products that I purchased last weekend at Target. So I would definitely recommend the Hydro Boost. I really like the liner as well, the L'Oreal liner, and the other ones I could take it or leave it as far as the mascara and the eye crayon. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I'll definitely let you know how I feel about the other Neutrogena foundation after I try it for a while. But I just really appreciate you guys spending time with me. I love you all so much. I hope you had an amazing weekend, and I'll see you guys really soon. Bye.